All right, guys. Today we have a great Ridge ranking, and then we get like a James Tyler on the OC5. Let's check out the guitars here, and then they have like something special here today, right, Rich?
You'll have to come and see.
Yeah.
All right. A few more guitars this year.
Yeah. Last year I remember we only had two, right? But this year we get more and more.
And his guitar.
Love it.
So, what we got first, give you a quick rundown, is the Studio Elite, kind of old school throwback with the James Tyler original pickups. Back in the day, Tom Anderson wound up our bobbins and then we would do stuff to it. And when Jim started making his own pickups, we just call them James Tyler Original. And of course, you know, Tom came from Schecter, so a lot of history there. But it has the whole series parallel split setup, maple top, you know, old school Tyler. We got the 35th anniversary of the Studio Elite, which has our new canceling coils. Under the pickguard right here, you'll have two canceling coils, so you can still do series split parallel, like I explained in that one video. But you can be true single coil to get your sort of Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of tones, or you can go full 80s in the same guitar. This is the Dann Huff Yellow Classic, which has been out for a couple of years. And you know, it's got the hot stacks, which you can do split, but his didn't. It's just series parallel. They sound pretty decent split, but not like a real true single coil. So it's, you can get to some kind of classic tones, but really it's about the giant era, you know. And then the Studio Elite that Jim landed on over all the years is just called the Studio Elite HD, which means it doesn't have the whole lead rhythm circuit. It's just the preamp. And if you get the neck bridge on, that can be a nice little option to get some of the 80s tones, but really it's a 90s, 2000s machine. And then
we are here for the
wait,
special.
There's more.
Yeah, there's like a
there's
special.
His guitar.
Oh, yeah?
The Mean Green.
We did this guitar, right?
Yeah. He came up with the color, and it looked like we have the black and blue. So we were thinking black and green, and that just wasn't fun enough. So I was like, wait a minute, it looks like money, like Mean Green. So
yeah,
but
love that guitar.
There's more.
Yeah, the last one.
What do we got?
That's what we are here for, right? Ta-da!
The Dann Huff Original Classic.
Wow,
over the years, a lot of people pressured Jim over and over to do it, and Jim did this. The original in '82 to Dan's '64 Strat. I went out to make sure of some stuff on the series parallel switches.
Yeah.
And while I was there, took a bunch of pictures and just decided, you know what, it's time to do this. And there's so many things that Jim improved on from this era, but for the guy who wants this era guitar, I mean, this was like for instance, these are true neck middle hot stacks, which Jim quickly went away from because they're so weak. You have to have the humbucker down quite a ways to balance. But that's exactly how Dan's is. His is the same way. The series is down on this one. So if you're watching a video with Dan and he says, hey, I do this, you can set your switches exactly like that and it'll be in that ballpark. You got tone, which also gives you the neck bridge on like on his. I couldn't find the proper push pots for the mid boost, but this is the mid boost. Even though it's got a tone knob, just like his, which we like the little knob because it tells you what it is.
How do you turn on the mid boost then?
With the push on the volume. And I put bypasses up because on Dan's, he said, especially in the 80s, he rarely shut off the preamp. Preamp was pretty much on all the time, even though his had bypass, which is funny because Jim stopped even giving people the option to do bypass because a big part of the sound was the buffered signal.
And then there is a reason that we're using the Floyd, right?
Yeah, the Floyd was on all the original, all the way into the mid-90s. I think a guy named Dave Graff took the Floyd off and put on the VS100, and it was probably, I think he said 94. So the Giant record and all those 80s records and everything was this configuration. It's a JB 50 millimeter, so it doesn't line up on the pole pieces. Doesn't matter to the sound at all. It's really a looks thing, but that's what's in Dan, so it's like that's what it's going to get. And you know, script logo to vibe like the original 64. You know, because it came from Jim modifying guitars, and that's how he ended up building.
Dan's original battery was here, right?
Under here, yeah.
Yeah, which is that's really funny.
When I was out there, he goes, "Hey, well, you got it at Joe Glazer's. Can you go ahead and change the battery? Because man, that's a pain." So you get the battery
over there, right? I like it. I like it over here. This is more like accessible.
So I'm trying to do. It's really. This is about romance and the sound. The sound is the most important thing. So it's like for that guy that wants that sound, if you get a chance to try it, you'll see how you know it's a little weak compared to what we do now, and not in a bad way, just in a different way. But like one guy asked online, "Oh, funny you didn't just do 21 or 21."
Yeah, 21.
Yeah. It's like why? Why leave off a fret just so that it has that look? It's like no. This is about the sound, and then so it's going to have a battery, it's going to have the extra fret. But other than that, you know, so the only option you'll have is the Wilkinson VS100 with hip shot locking tuners. This one, of course, has the Clousons because that's what was on the original 64.
That's right.
But that's it, you know, Alder.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Look how low it is. Can you see how low it is, right?
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yeah.
That's very low,
but
right?
you can definitely, you know, zoom in on it.
That's exactly like what Dan has.
Yeah,
right?
his is lower than that. I'm actually fudging it up just a little, you know, to get it in that ballpark. But yeah, so there you have it, the Dan Huff original classic here at the OC Vibe Guitar Festival.
Yeah.
Put on by Bruce Adolph.
Yeah.
So things growing, so come on down, but also come next year because it's going to be awesome again.
Yeah, cool.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Come back.
What's happening?
I guess that's it. Wait, there's one last thing.
Yeah.
It's time to put the monster away. Goodbye, fair maiden.
All right, such a great thing.
Paul Reed Smith.
No.
Just kidding. Anyway, see you next
year.
year.
Thank you, guys.